live, most definitely. I still have my cup in shot. That's not very nice, is it? So let's just drop these blinds. So I think we're getting more information through. Somebody has just posted up on Facebook that the schools in the UK will be closed from next week, which is interesting. So it'd be absolutely fine for me, but for other people it might be difficult. So let's talk about the coronavirus. I think this is a very real conversation that we need to be having as business owners, and this is not to put anybody into a state of panic. It's just to try and cut through all of the noise, all of the media, all of the panic that I see happening online. And I think for a long time as business owners, we've been waiting. I've been polling my Facebook groups, so the people who have businesses, I've been polling those people and asking them over the last kind of week or so how they're feeling about the coronavirus, how they think that it's impacting on the business, if it's currently impacting on their business. And I think we've all been waiting. But I think now the government is making decisions, and as a business owner, we equally need to be putting contingency plans in place for our businesses. So I really want for this to be a discussion. I'm not saying that I've got all of the answers. So as you come and join me, come and say hi. Come and tell me, where you are with your business, what you're putting in place. Perhaps you've got some really, brilliant ideas that you're happy to share with the rest of us. But this is for small business owners. This is an absolutely essential conversation for us to be having about how do we keep growing our businesses whilst the coronavirus does impact us on a daily basis. I've just shared that it's going to be confirmed at 12 o'clock today that the schools are going to be closing next week, which is going to be really interesting, isn't it? And I just wanted for this conversation to be really helpful and really useful. Like I said, I haven't got all of the answers, but I think the more that we talk about this, the more that we have these conversations, the more that we are happy to be open to looking at the solutions rather than sitting there and worrying about what is going to happen or what might happen. It's really, really important that we have ways of kicking off this conversation and talking about it. So come and tell me who's here and what your business is and what your plans are. And I think there's a couple of, let's start with, how do we keep growing our business? How do we move our businesses forward during this time? I mean, it's unprecedented, isn't it, this time? And the number one thing is to communicate clearly with your clients. As a client of Center Parcs, I'm due to go there this weekend, and there's absolutely zero information available. There's nothing on the website, there's nothing on my book, absolutely nothing. You can't get through to them, but there's absolutely nothing from them to reassure me as a client that it's safe for us to go as a family. That's something that I'm going to have to make as a grown-up. But I think from a business perspective, if you've got the type of business that is in person, it's really about reassuring your clients about the steps that you have put in place that makes it safe for them to be in your environment. And if it's not, if you deem that it's not, or the government bans it, it's always about communication. Even if you don't know all of the answers, it's about having a level of communication so that your clients understand that the lines of communication are open. And as I said, if you do have a business that's currently running and you're noticing that people are cancelling, it's about thinking, right, what do I need to put in place to reassure my clients that it's business as usual and that you've taken the necessary steps to ensure their safety. So it's always about that line of communication. And the other side of things is there aren't an awful lot of people in my online world talking about the coronavirus and talking specifically about business and the coronavirus. And if you're like me and you map out all of your content, this probably wasn't part of your content plan. Certainly wasn't part of my content plan for today. And it's just as I said right at the beginning of this live, this was like an unplanned live. But I really felt as a business coach, it's my duty to open this conversation. So I really wanted to, to encourage you, if you're not already adapting your content to serve your clients so that you can support them through this unprecedented time, that I really want to encourage you to do that, to take a moment today to look at the content that you've got, look at how you can help and support your clients and meet them where they are, meet them where their concerns are, and help and support your clients with your content. Even if that means that you've got to scrub all your plans and you actually create kind of on the minute kind of content as well. The other thing to do is, if you have got events planned, if you have got situations planned where you think it's highly likely that you're going to have to cancel those arrangements, talk to the venues, talk to the people who are running those events for you, keep the communication open, speak to them about what the cancellation options are. If you can shift your event to another date, it's about checking the T's and C's, checking our insurance, checking the cancellation arrangements with these venues. I think sometimes people get frustrated, like I am, frustrated about the lack of information, but that often comes from a place of waiting to see what happens next. But as a business owner, I'm running an event in York next week, so I need to make a decision about that, and I'll be communicating not just to my clients, I'll be communicating that to the venue as well. So really, there's some real practical steps. Start talking to your clients about the coronavirus and the impact it's going to have on them. If you've got things that are already in place, like events, venues booked, so on, speak to your venues, talk about how you can postpone it, how you can carry the date forward, what the cancellation fees are. Just keep the lines of communication open. Hi Kirsten, lovely to see you here. This is like an open conversation for us all to have. And the other thing is, on a real practical level, I've got to look at my own business, as I encourage you all to do, and for you to think about, where are you vulnerable right now? Where is it where you could see, or maybe you already have, a drop in clients, a drop in sales, and start to look at creative ways that you can manage that. And the brilliant thing is that we are small business owners, we are entrepreneurial, we are creative, and this is a time to be creative. There's no point in hanging on to plans that you had and ignoring, I don't think any of us ignoring what's going on, but kind of hanging on to our plans and refusing to change those plans. This is our time as entrepreneurs to pivot, and we can do that. We can do that really successfully, and we can do it in the short term. That's all it's going to be, isn't it? Hopefully, just this short period of time where we've got to pivot, we've got to change, we've got to adapt. And those people who can do that, and those people who can do that quickly, will continue to have a successful, thriving business. And also, this might be the time to actually start to look at moving elements of your business, or having an additional option of having your business online if it isn't already. So there might be an element here where it's about your business model being the bit that needs to pivot, that needs to change, because this has happened right now. Hopefully it's only going to be something that's going to impact us for a really short period of time, but it's not to say that this thing can't happen again. So you may as well start to think about how, if you currently have a good proportion of your existing business currently in person, it's the time now, isn't it, to start to think about how you can move that online, in the future. That's a sensible business option, but also it gives you a contingency for very unprecedented times like this, when we have to become very, very creative. So if anybody's got any questions about this, please post them up. So it's about us becoming very, very flexible about how we deliver our services. I've been working with a coach this week who would normally be booking retreats abroad right now, and she's had to adapt, and I've seen that across the board, is that people have had to adapt, they've had to change how things are going to be delivered. And that's not to say that she won't run a retreat, it's just that it won't be in the location in the country that she first planned. So it's always about us adapting, it's always us about looking at alternatives. It's not to say things can't happen, it's looking at making things happen in a different way. So it's maybe the time for you to look at having more online services, or moving more of your in-person, even if it's in the short term, but moving your in-person services online. And again, as I said, we are creative entrepreneurs. There are lots of brilliant ways that you can do that. And if there's an element with your audience where they're like, we don't do it online, it's about using your content to educate your audience about the benefits of it. I've had one of my clients already demonstrating how brilliant this is. She's pivoting. She was planning to run an event in her local area next week. She's already moved that onto an online event. It's the first time she's going to run it online. It's something that's new to her, but she's willing to do it. But actually what that means is that there's huge benefit to the people who are actually attending, because normally when you go to an in-person event, workshop, you don't have the opportunity for that to be recorded. And because she's moving the workshop onto a platform where it can be delivered online and recorded, is a massive benefit to the audience there. Also, she can add more people to the workshop because it's online. She's no longer restricted to the size of the room that she's got. So there's some really brilliant ways that you can adapt. My children, as you can see, I've got the music stand here. They have music lessons here where we live, but again, they will move to online guitar lessons if necessary, and the guitar instructor has already put that in place. It's something that he's quite happy to move to. So it's just thinking about ways that you can keep serving your audience, keep things moving forward in a really, really creative way. And you can deliver all sorts of different things online. I have another friend who's doing a cookery course online. I've had Pilates instructors who deliver their Pilates courses online. Yoga, I have a fitness app, in fact it's called Fit, that they're all online classes. That's like strength workouts, yoga classes, Pilates classes, everything I need. So even if I went into a lockdown for 2 weeks, I'll still be exercising because I have access to that. So there are only a few businesses that are going to be have to become more creative than shifting their services online. But there's lots of us that can deliver our things online. You can automate your appointments. You can move all your in-person appointments to online using tools like Zoom. Zoom's absolutely free, or doing Facebook Lives. There are so many pieces of technology that you can use. Zoom is one of the best tools around. It's really cheap, it's really easy to use. There's no tie-in. You join for a month and leave again. You can record really easily and upload those recordings to YouTube. If they're unlisted on YouTube, only the people who can view them are the people that you send the link to. So the content's really, really safe. So there's loads of ways that you can really quickly move your services onto online. I know sometimes, I was chatting to another client this week who was looking at creating a membership, and they were thinking that they had to go into the whole wait until a really expensive new website being built for them. And I was like, no, you can do it really quickly. You could use videos, you can use YouTube to uplift them to, you can put them into a Dropbox. There's really, really brilliant ways that you can actually do that. There's also platforms like Teachable that for a monthly fee you can host your courses on there. It looks really professional, really easy to use. So don't let any of the potential things get in the way, like, well, I need a new website to do that, or I need to have all this equipment set up, or I need all these things to be in place. You can react really quickly right now to moving a lot of your services online, and this gives you an opportunity to actually start to create easier ways for you to run a business. You start to do online courses, you can move your offerings to one-to-many, you can work with people across the world rather than people who can get to you in person. There's all sorts of different benefits to actually be having online services. You can create ebooks. If you're going to have a dip in income in one area, where what else can you create in another area where you can create an online product that would actually generate the same amount of money or even more money, like my client is. So it could be an ebook, a mini course, a video series. There are absolutely loads of things that you can do. And I really wanted to just open this up and say that yes, we're dealing with this. Yes, it's unprecedented. Yes, we don't really know what is going on, how long it's going to affect us. But I really want to kind of say, look, don't panic. There are lots of things that you can do. It's all about being creative, and those people who are the most creative, those people who can put some contingency plans in place now and start to implement them will be absolutely fine. So look at where you're vulnerable in your business and actually become creative. Think about how you can resolve that problem or match that income by creating something that you can deliver online. Your audience will thank you so much if you can reassure them that they can still have the same level of service and support from you from moving things online. So does anybody have any questions, anything that's happening at the moment that you want to come and share? Anybody had an update on the schools being I'm just checking my watch. Anybody had an update on the news about whether the schools are closing next week? Feel free to post below. And if you're watching the replay and you've got questions, come and ask those questions. I see all of your responses and I'm really happy to respond to them because it's such an important time, that we are supporting each other. We're all in this together, and it's not just my expertise, that we collectively have a lot of expertise, a lot of ideas that we can use to keep growing our businesses. So don't panic, just watch this back, start to make some plans, ask your questions, be supported, and you will survive. I'm absolutely sure of it. Okay, take care everybody, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye for now.